Absolutely, we are really in a space crisis.
The most brutally violent terror group in modern history. This is an organization that has an apocalyptic end-of-days strategic vision. It is now our generation's task to carry on. An 8.5 magnitude earthquake has struck. Our journey is not complete until our gang brothers and sisters are treated like anyone else under the law.
For the second time in less than 3 weeks, Seoul has been rocked by another major earthquake.
Geologists say there's been more seismic activity over the last 7 months than over the last 4 decades. It's the frequency of these shocks that has the public as well as scientists puzzled.
911, what is your speed emergency?
Yeah, there's a baby in our garbage can.
This is 2015 when women are ruling the world.
And so much crime going on that they really can't control it. So we lost our moral compass, or we're just more aware of it now.
Honey, I just coming. Are your parents okay with you being here? My parents! My parents!
This is modern-day Babylon.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
Never before in the history of this country have so many corrupting influences descended upon children at one time.
Kneel before your God, Babylon!
There's been a lot of buzz over the last few weeks about strange sounds being heard in the atmosphere. And with some breaking news this hour, people in the Urals in Russia have seen burning objects raining down from the sky after a meteorite exploded above Earth. A terrible mystery gripping the world right now. Birds, fish, and all kinds of creatures dropping dead in huge numbers for what seems like no reason. It's the latest in a series of unexplained sudden death incidents. The events have sparked a media frenzy, with doomsday speculators saying it hails the end of the world. 165 tornadoes in 24 hours?
Now, 11 earthquakes in just the last 24 hours have forced a new concern over what's causing this. Could this be the start of something bigger?
Experiencing one of the worst floods in the past 70 years. The flooding has reached biblical proportions. A massive tornado at least 2 miles wide. With breaking news, the death toll is about to rise.
So there's a lot of changes, geological and seismic changes that are going on.
According to the United States and Geological Survey, the rate of earthquakes and the frequency of earthquakes has increased, and now the current trend was out of the ordinary.
You see this is happening in multiple areas. What's going on? An increase in earthquakes. This is something that will say, hey, an earthquake that's so massive. Have you heard about the signs of this coming? And as technology has revolutionized our ability to communicate with each other, it's also allowed us to celebrate ourselves through boastful tweets, humble brags, status updates, and photos.
Narcissistic traits have been rising at the same rate as obesity.
It's about you.
We're breeding a selfie nation. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram may all be contributing to a generation of self-absorbed, self-promoting, self-involved oversharers.
It's about you.
What does that say about us? Look at me.
Selfie obsession is now reaching new heights. Based on their observations, the members of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists Science and Security Board find conditions in the world to be so threatening that they are moving the hands of the doomsday clock 2 minutes closer to midnight. It is now 3 minutes to midnight. Today, unchecked climate change and a nuclear arms race pose extraordinary and undeniable threats to the continued existence of humanity. And world leaders have failed to act with the speed or on the scale required to protect citizens from potential catastrophe.
What's happening on planet Earth is definitely not business as usual.
The question is about whether this is all a sign of the apocalypse. America is a different country than it was 11 hours ago. A landmark ruling from a sharply divided U.S. Supreme Court clearing the way for same-sex marriage in all 50 states.
Now, the law of the land.
This ruling will strengthen all of our communities.
We have outfought and fought. God God is speaking to us through these events. Something big, something apocalyptic is happening.
All over the planet, fish, birds, and other animals
Fish are dying out at rates more than 100 times faster than normal. And now scientists are warning we have entered a sixth period, meaning that extinctions that would usually take thousands of years to occur now take little more than a decade. Scientists are warning the window of opportunity is rapidly closing. Almost half of the world's population of tiger antelope died this month, and no one is sure why.
In the last 10 days, more than a third of the whole world's population of species has died.
It's the largest die-off event of the tiger antelope on record. Scientists don't know what caused the death.
The steppe is littered with carcasses of mothers and calves.
How did 20 large dead sea whales wash up onto shores near the Gulf of Henna on Chile's southern coast? The 10-metre-long whales were found more than 1,000 miles south of the capital, Santiago.
Scientists say tens of thousands of them have washed up on Long Island.
Thousands of dead bunkerfish in one of the most unusual die-offs in recent memory. The bunkerfish, also known as menhaden, appeared wall-to-wall along the shoreline. Last week, turtles died in the same area.
Southern California beaches look a little red. Thousands of tiny red tuna crabs are dotting the shores from Huntington Beach to San Clemente. And the fact that they're taking over Southern California beaches is very bizarre. Authorities say this is the first time in 34 years that people in Huntington Beach have seen them in the area.
So this is the capital Tbilisi is said to have killed at least 8 people and swamped the city zoo, killing many animals and allowing others to escape. The authorities have advised residents to stay indoors.
Deadly zoo animals were left prowling city streets after flooding damaged their cages, setting them free. Tigers, lions, bears, wolves, hippopotamus were among the animals that escaped.
Half of the park's 600 animals missing. Officials urging residents to stay indoors.
Tiger that escaped the zoo has killed a man.
Rescue workers are combing submerged houses to check for the trapped residents. Tbilisi's mayor described the situation as unprecedented.
City reeling, suffering from what some are calling the worst natural disaster in this capital in recent memory.
So these things at their maximum level will occur in the time known as the time of tribulation.
This morning, neighbors woke up to piles and piles, some as much as 4 feet drifts, they said. It's just incredible.
Irving in Alaska woke up to enough hail that they had to go out and shovel. There was hail everywhere. By far the heaviest concentration was in the 2 blocks. Strangest thing, right?
This is not January, it's June.
Yeah, that is so weird.
No sign of abating. Large parts of China are seeing continuous rainfall. Over 22 million people have been hit by flooding.
More than 16,000 pigs were killed by continuous rainstorms that occurred in southwest China's Guangxi Autonomous Region. Most of the pigs that died were piglets and sows.
A heat wave in southern Pakistan has now killed more than 1,100 people, even as temperatures ease.
Thousands of people have fallen ill. Hospitals and clinics are still struggling with the rush of patients, while morgues have run out of room for bodies. The heat wave has coincided with the Muslim holy month of Ramadan.
The death toll is expected to rise.
Parts of India's northwest is underwater after days of heavy rain.
The floods caused by continuous rains have killed at least 70 people.
The country was hit by what some say is the worst flooding in 90 years. Flash floods have brought Sochi to a standstill. At least one person...
Time in the history of the world.
Temperatures across Europe broke records with a high expected to reach 104 degrees Fahrenheit in some cities. Meteorologists in Spain have placed parts of the region under yellow alert. Heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense as a result of climate change, according to the United Nations.
A cold front charging up Australia's east coast is so powerful, not even Queensland will escape its chill. Plummeting mercury has hit him from Tasmania to Brisbane, bracing for some of the coldest weather in decades.
It's been dubbed the Tsunami, an icy cold front powering its way up from Antarctica. And as the mercury plummeted yesterday, the snow piled up. The mercury expected to dip close to zero.
It's a record that Romanians aren't interested in breaking. Temperatures in parts of the country are close to the highest ever recorded. Ambulances have been called more than 200 times in a 48-hour period. Temperatures in Bucharest are expected to climb again.
Thousands of holidaymakers are stranded as a volcanic ash cloud continues to shut down flights to and from Indonesia. Airports have been closed.
The volcano has been dormant for more than 400 years. It's likely thousands more will have to evacuate.
There are warnings for what officials say may be the most dangerous eruption in decades in Mexico. A volcano has been blasting lava and ash into the air, blotting out the sky.
More people have been evacuated from the area as fears grow the eruption could become the biggest in a century.
The first warning of a monster earthquake off America's coast. The worst natural disaster in the history of the nation is coming, say the scientists. The federal government estimates 13,000 Americans will die in a major earthquake and tsunami in the Pacific Northwest. It's not a question of whether, but when. This earthquake is coming, and it's overdue. Seismologists say that the quake that will strike on our Pacific Northwest coastline should be up to a 9.2. It will unleash not only a colossal earthquake, but also that tsunami. Wall of water, 700 miles long, and in some places up to a 100-foot high tsunami. Will slam into the Pacific Northwest. Thousands and thousands will not escape. FEMA calculations indicate the disaster will damage or destroy about 1 million buildings. Our operating assumption is that everything west of Interstate 5 will be toast. It is coming. It is a certainty. The question is when.
The Cascadia Fault is an earthquake waiting to happen. We know it's going to happen with an energy 30 times the maximum energy of the San Andreas Fault.
This wave could come in at 500 miles per hour. How do 70,000 people evacuate in 10 minutes?
You can.
Residents of Athens were sent fleeing as forest fires broke out around the Greek capital, fueled by strong winds and high temperatures. Police confirmed 34 blazes were raging across 4 main fronts in southern Greece. 3 places seemed to set on fire simultaneously.
We begin with breaking news of wildfire burning in San Bernardino County, eastern Los Angeles.
Firefighters tell us they've never seen anything like what happened overnight on the freeway in California.
Hundreds of acres burning and jumping the freeway.
It seemed apocalyptic and exodus. Motorists flee their cars on foot. Others into the hills.
Residents say they've never experienced anything like this. Some homes were almost completely submerged underwater, and a number of vehicles were left stranded in floodwaters, the result of heavy rainfall.
Regions to be rattled in the East Bay tonight after more than a dozen small earthquakes along the Hayward Fault. Now, the shaking started with a magnitude 4.0 around 2 o'clock this morning. Scientists are sounding the horn over an expected major